So in today's video, we are going to see British presenter James O'Brien press a UK-based Trump fan to the point that he makes him quit live on air. Let's watch it, and I'll give you my thoughts towards the end.
I just want to say I'm actually a fan of Trump, and I think there's a lot of stuff in the media which are lies.
Go on.
And I know yourself, you're obviously anti-Trump.
No, go on. What are the lies that you're unhappy about?
Well, no, I just think you even said this morning, you said it's okay for him, what is it, the quote you used, it's okay to be racist again?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you draw that conclusion?
He accused Barack Obama of not having been born in America and lying about his birth certificate.
So how's that racist?
Birtherism is racist because Barack Obama is well, you can't. I mean, you can talk over me if you want, Stephen. But okay, no, you crack on. There have been previous presidents
that have actually been white that have also not been accused of being born in America. So was that also racist?
No, of course it wouldn't be racist. Who was that, by the way?
I think a president from 1880. It goes back over
No, come on. You're on national radio. You've got your ducks in a row. Tell me about the last time an American president was accused of not being born in America.
I've forgotten the names. But
don't be silly. Don't tease me. Of course you haven't forgotten the name. You wouldn't come on the radio and say something and then immediately fall apart in response to the first question you're asked.
It's not falling apart.
Okay, so let's go back to the lies that have been told about Donald Trump. Which one would you reach for first?
Well, the one that you just said it's okay for the racist to come out.
Well, we've just demonstrated he's very popular with racists, Stephen. I think we can all agree on that.
Well, he's not popular with racists.
So it wasn't white nationalists that invaded the Capitol last week, then. Steve Bannon, his key advisor during the presidential campaign, who's now been pardoned for ripping off Trump supporters, he didn't say you should wear the accusation of racism like a badge of honour.
Well, that's his quote. I mean, if that's what he's saying. But the fact that you can't just say then that everyone that marched on the Capitol is racist.
I didn't. I said they were white nationalists.
Well, you're also portraying that.
So let's go back to the lies, Stephen. Let's go back to the lies that the mainstream media in America has told about Donald Trump.
Well, I've just told you the fact that he's racist.
But we've just proved that he is.
but because he's questioned someone's birth certificate, that makes him racist.
No, because he questioned a black man's birth certificate, knowing that it was absolutely untrue. So that would be called a racist lie, which is encouraged to make people who are uncomfortable with Barack Obama's skin colour believe something that's not true about him, because it then undermines the legitimacy of his presidency. So briefly, because it's not going great, but I'd like you to stick around for a little bit longer. What is it you liked about him, Stephen?
I think that he come out and spoke a lot of the truth on stuff.
Yeah, what stuff? Stephen's hung up.
So, look, I know this is a bit of an oldie, but I wanted to show you guys this video because I know that there's a lot of people in my audience that are based not in the UK that haven't seen this clip. Now, just really, really quick, this is something that's interesting. Now, I don't want to be a person who labels everyone as racist, especially on the right side of things. Okay, I don't want to say that everybody is racist, but I remember hearing this quote and it's always stuck with me. Not everyone who is MAGA is racist, but everyone who is racist votes MAGA. Let me say that again. Not everyone who is MAGA is racist, but everyone who is racist votes MAGA. That says something. That says that something that you're saying in the rhetoric, what you're speaking, that calls out to that base, to those individuals. Now, look, this is one of the things that I love about the internet. A little bit of research and you can literally find so many cases to back up what it is that James O'Brien was literally saying in this clip. And I just did a little bit of research. A lot of these things I already knew, but I just want to make sure that when I'm speaking to you guys, as much as I can, I'm not going to get everything right, but as much as I can, I want to make sure that I got my ducks in a row. Okay? In the 70s, the Department of Justice sued Trump and his dad for racially discriminatory housing practices in their properties in Brooklyn. Okay? in the 80s, everyone saw the show on Netflix. I think it was called Central Park 5. What did Trump do? He took out a full-page newspaper advert calling for the death penalty. To this very day, he hasn't apologized even after those 5 young boys were exonerated. Just another example. When he ran for president initially in 2015, what did he do? On the campaign trail, referring to Mexican immigrants as criminals and rapists. To this very day, we literally have everybody on the Republican side now referring to any immigrant as criminals, rapists, even though the majority of them are not or nothing nowhere near that. But because of the fact they've seen their leader and their commander-in-chief, the orange man baby Donald Trump, do it, it has now become standard rhetoric, especially on the right. If we take a look in 2017, after the white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, what did Trump do? He said and referred to them as very fine people on both sides. Okay, so referring to white supremacists as very fine people, you know, there's only one reason why he done that, but we already know. In 2018, when he referred to Haiti and African nations as shithole countries, excuse the French, but shithole countries, you know, we can literally see just multiple examples. COVID, Chinese, calling it the Chinese virus, Kung flu, just disrespectful, racist remarks. We've seen so many examples of where Donald Trump is a racist POS. And that's the reason as to why you see so many examples of family members, friends falling out with anybody who votes in favor of someone like a Donald Trump. Because the reality is, you cannot, in good faith, vote for Donald Trump knowing all of this about him. If you know that he's done all of these things, he said all of these things, and you vote for him, number one, you either don't care, which means you probably align with his views, or number two, the chances are you've just done no research and you don't even know who it is that you're voting for. And the reality is this: if it's the latter, that's a you problem, because you should know who it is that you're voting for. That's a fact. So many examples of why this guy is not to be liked and should never be voted for. So many examples, but people will bury their head in the sand and say, no, it's not about that. It's about his policies. Screw his policies, because he's lying to you anyway. And if you are a person who isn't a Caucasian individual, guess what? He doesn't like you. So if you voted for him and you're not a Caucasian individual, you're doubly dumb. This is where it is that we're at. But listen, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below this video. As usual, I always love to hear from you guys on your thoughts on this clip, on this video. And while you're down there, if you are not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also, give this video a big thumbs up purely for the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.